Okay, we are live. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to episode 2 of the incredible road mapping your Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, my co-host is here, Sister Doureine. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam, Brother Neil. I'm very well. Really looking forward to this one. Thank you so much for being here with us. Zohaib Shariff, who is a health coach.
The legend, the one.
Amazing. Amazing health coach, founder of Acti Health, Acti Kids. Yeah, we're really thrilled to have you.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure being here as well. Thank you for inviting me.
Honestly, it's great. It's great to have you. It's we're looking at a great topic today. Something I think that is really skipped over during Ramadan, and people just kind of put it to one side, and that's your health and fitness. How do we keep fit during Ramadan? And we need to really understand the importance of it and how we can keep our body in balance and in check. Yes, we all have days where we're trying to adjust and days where we're slipping, but how do we keep consistent? I guess this is the key. It's difficult, isn't it? Especially during Ramadan. So we have one of the legends in our community, somebody that is very active in health, fitness, and yeah, dear viewers, let's get benefiting from his knowledge and wisdom, inshallah.
Excellent. So before we start, before we Zohaib, you impart us with your golden nuggets, it's important to remember that Ramadan is a mind, body, and soul experience. And, Ramadan is a time for us to be thinking about not only our soul and obviously our mind, but how important the body is. Obviously, the whole point of Ramadan is to abstain yourself from eating, and there's obviously different benefits from it as well. But at the same time, how do we keep the fitness in, right? So what are the benefits of generally, and then even more so in Ramadan, Zohaib, what are the benefits of working out?
Yeah, so I would say obviously to start off with, Ramadan actually takes you out of your normal comfort zone in life, yeah? We're sort of used to our normal waking up, or I'll give you my example. For example, I wake up in the morning, I'll have a few dates or whatever, a bit of water, go to the gym, and then I'll come back, be with my little one at home, have breakfast, go to work, come back, and it's a regular sort of routine. Weekend, normally end up staying a bit late up at night, like a lot of people do on a Friday night, etc. And then it gets a little bit messed up on a Saturday, Sunday, which is normal. And then you're back to your grind on Monday. Now, obviously, Ramadan come now 30 days of literally just complete U-turn. And mosque is very important, of course. I'm used to going to Stanmore since a little kid. You go there, you sit with the brothers, it's a massive enjoyment. What tends to happen is we do enjoy, and then we sort of have that social circle as well in the mosque. So we're out till late. You've got sehri parties or people inviting you over for sehri and stuff. And what tends to happen now, your routine's going out of place. You got to wake up early to pray, and before that to eat, going to sleep on a full stomach. Now you got another, I don't know, for myself, when I eat heavy in the morning for sehri, I can't wake up. I can't go to sleep, number one. Okay. And when I do sleep, it's a groggy sleep. Wake up and you're just got drool all over. You got drool all over.
We all know that one. We all know that.
We all got that.
Yeah.
And then you're tired, you get to work, and now the emotions start getting into place. It happens with us all, and this is a part of control.
Yeah.
So how do we sort of minimize the emotion side of things when it comes to the anger controlling? Minimize everything. There's a few things that I've tried and have worked, and especially this month, yeah. And I know we're talking about the fitness side, but I'm going to start with a bit of the diet side.
Yeah.
So these 3 days, and it's been the first time I've done this, because normally every sehri, I've been going, not every, but majority of sehris I've had, paratha, eggs, curries, and, just It's definitely you're loving it, and it's an enjoyment time.
Naughty food.
Yeah, naughty food. But this year, what I've done is I've had 3 dates. That's it for Seri. Yeah,
Okay.
3 dates for Seri. And there's this group. I'll send you the link as well. Yeah, it's called Al Tabib. I'm not sure if you're on it. Are you on that group, Tabib group?
No.
I'll try and get you guys to share the link over. These guys are amazing. So they've got all hadith from Ahlul Bayt Islam for health and wellness. Yeah, amazing group. And just today I was looking, it's recommended that if you don't want to feel hungry in the day and you don't want to feel thirsty, just have dates and water for Seri. So yeah, and I was looking at that, and the last 3 days, I'll be honest with you, including today, I'm actually feeling good. Normally you think that you eat quite a bit, so you will stay full the whole day. It's not the case. Yeah. Now, with regards to the fitness side of things, again, this is all related. The nutrition side of part plays a big part on the physical part of things as well. When you've overeaten, like I did yesterday evening, again, myself, I'm telling you, I was supposed to go to the gym, but I didn't. I was just feeling so lethargic, feeling so shattered. And what did I do? Instead, I went to link the boys, chilled out for a bit, and just ruined off my whole routine. And we're human. It's gonna happen to all of us.
Yeah.
Neil, if I ask you, like, what's your take on, like, when you eat food at night? Do you feel like going to the gym after and stuff, or?
Nah, definitely not. I think, you feel a bit sluggish sometimes. Say you are what you eat sometimes. So if you're eating too much carbs or you're overeating, you just feel sluggish. You feel like you don't want to move and you've got no energy. I'm on the channel every night, so you've got to eat and then you're live. And then depending on what you've eaten to how much energy you can give, literally in that respect. For me, I try and go to the gym like 2 a.m. We've got a 2 a.m. club at the gym, so we try our very best. But like you said, brother, it's just so hard to sometimes push yourself.
Yeah. I think this very important point here to add is that before we even think about fitness and gym and nutrition even, we first need to think about why is it important even, what is behind that? Like, what is it supposed to, why, if you look at namaz, the beautiful thing about salat and namaz is everything is included, the mind, body, and soul. If you don't exercise, Allah's included your exercise within the namaz, within the salat. You've got all the positions of certain position of yoga, up, down, and, it just gets your body going. And also it's important to understand that the body is given to us as an amanat from God. You only have one life, you only have one body. And looking after that body, making sure that it's efficient at its optimum level is our responsibility from Allah. But why is it important anyway? It's important because when you are more fit, when you are exercising, you feel, like you said, Brother Zohaib, you feel more energetic. And when you're more energetic, you suddenly have more time, because suddenly, you see some people who have 24 hours in a day and others the same, but they don't use it the same way because one is more sleep and less energy and I don't have time to do this. Whereas the other is like, they can fit so much during the day. So you can be more of service to people when your body is working well. So I love what you said, Brother Zohaib, when you said, eating well, working out well. Actually, when you don't do that, you can feel the effect. You can feel that laziness in your bones almost, isn't it?
Also, another big point is that Ramadan is actually a month for ibadat, okay? It's actually, this is what it's for. We're supposed to sort of kind of let go of everything else, and it's got to be concentration on this. It doesn't say not to exercise, but exercise actually can, for those saying that, why are you training during Ramadan and stuff, and we shouldn't be doing that, we should just be in the mosque and reading Quran and etc. And I get that, I understand that. It is for that month, but to get to your optimum in reading Quran, like you said, Sister Doureine, to get to your optimum in reading Quran, get into the mosque, serving and all sorts, you need to be physically in shape as well. Otherwise on 23rd night, 21st night, halfway through the surahs, you'll be, you'll be knockout. And which is fine as well, but you get the point. We need to keep the energy levels up as well for the day, yeah? And so a quick couple of things that I do if I'm feeling tired in the day, or if I'm just, if I'm not going to the gym in the morning now. So I've decided that my plan for going to the gym now is going to be in the evening, either before Seri, before Iftar, just before Iftar, or it's going to be like about an hour after, or half an hour after the mosque, after Iftar and du'as, whatever, then I go to the mosque. So it's giving me about an hour and a half break, But how do I keep myself up in the day now? Because I'm normally used to getting that big burst of energy in the morning.
Yeah.
So have you guys heard of habit stacking?
Yes. Atomic Habits, James Clear, right?
Yeah. You want to explain to the listeners about what habit stacking is, Neil?
So habit stacking is when you analyze a habit that you may have. So for instance, you may do something habitually, and then you look within the time of that particular habit. How long does it take you to do that action? And then what can you do to stack it? So add something on top of it to make it more productive. So you're taking it to the next level. So for instance, if we're talking about gym work, or you're going to the gym, I mean, you're better placed than I am. So if I'm in a gym and say I'm bench pressing, in my rest period where I'm stopping bench pressing, I might do some curls. So within that time, I'm stacking and I'm using a different body part. If I'm boiling the kettle to make some coffee, the kettle takes 1 minute to boil. So within that 1 minute, I'll do 10 push-ups. Or while the coffee's brewing, I will sit down and do some meditation in that period of time. So it's looking at pockets of time and stacking on top of it. Great book, highly recommended. Atomic Habits, James Clear.
Yeah, amazing. You said it perfectly. And so what's a thing that we can't, in this month, we can't boil the kettle, all right? It won't during the day.
Not during the day.
Yeah, during the day. So what is it? Getting ready. There's other stuff that you do on a regular, still brush your teeth, for example. So for the listeners out there, if you're looking at a way of just getting that bit of exercise in for even like 10 seconds, just to keep that momentum going for the month, while you're brushing your teeth, you can just bang out 5-10 squats, or when you're going out the front door, or when you get to the office, or wherever it may be, just think of something that you're doing every day consistently in this month. Or just getting back from work in the afternoon if you come back home before you go to sleep for an evening kip or whatever. Get in some press ups, whatever it be, and this keeps the momentum going throughout the month.
So you attach maybe one thing to another thing you do. So for example, on your way to the bathroom, for example, I have a sign that says do that. So like if you're a visual person, you give yourself some cues so that even if your conscious mind forgets, when you see it, you suddenly start, wanting to do it. And then your subconscious mind also registers all of that as well, and eventually becomes a habit, right? So even for wudu, for example, if you put, like, I'm a very visual person, so all over my house you will see stickers, post-it notes, colorful things. Like, my kids get tired of it. That's how many things I have all over the place. I have like on my mirror I have a big thing that says I am enough, and then underneath I've got one that says wudu. So as I'm trying to brush my teeth, or after, I'm like, okay, I have to do that, I'm gonna do wudu, so you just kind of add, delete and edit things within your day that you can reach, that you think you can do, little things that will give you the confidence that you can do. Don't make huge goals, especially like you said, habit stacking. You just, as and when you can, add little push-ups, little, anything that makes you active, isn't it?
At the same time, another thing to be very mindful of as well is, so I've signed myself up for the Who's Hussein half marathon in May, and I've never been a runner, to be totally honest. The max I've still run till today is 7K, and I'm struggling, I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna have to be practicing this month, because it's coming up in 2 months' time, and I need to hit 21K, which is gonna be serious, yeah. Now, training for this during Ramadan as well, when I haven't done it before, is gonna cause a lot of, I'm gonna be sweating buckets, yeah. It's getting warmer as well outside. Hydration has been a key part. And I don't know if you guys know my story from before, but I suffered with chronic back pain for a long time.
Yeah.
I've always gone about it, but I'll tell you for those who haven't heard before, suffered with chronic back pain. Now, and this relates to everything that was about fitness and all the rest of it. So back pain, and I was going into chiropractors and shiatsu specialists and all sorts. I used to go, they would crack me into place, then I'll be fine. And then a month or 2 months later, I'll be back in the same position, sometimes bedbound for like a week at a time, literally. And you remember, Neil, back in the day when I used to come to your martial arts thing as well, my neck used to be a bit, stiff, and I used to get all these injuries.
That's right.
You remember?
Yeah.
And what happened, I then got in touch with Zainali Benjwani, you guys know.
Yes.
And he actually spoke to me in a different tone, as in what we're doing, what we all sort of do as a coach, yeah? So he took me in, he said, look, I want to get to the root cause of what your problem is. And I said, mate, I just want you to fix me. I ain't got time. And he goes, this is the problem. This is the problem. You can see the stress on your face, yeah? Like, but let's get to the root cause. Do you want long-term change? And I was like, I'd do anything. So, all right, fine. So he started asking me all these questions about my life from birth. He even asked me if I was breastfed. Yeah, literally came down to that. He was asking me if I was, he asked me about my parents, their health concerns, everything, like literally, and about my movements, all sorts. And he came to the conclusion that I had a thing called leaky gut, all right? And you guys know, should I explain what leaky gut is?
Yeah, please explain.
So basically, and in simple terms, a leaky gut is, imagine you got your gut and all the toxins, whatever your body doesn't need, etc., all the bad stuff comes out through the gut and we excrete it.
Yep.
Now imagine you got holes in this thing in your gut. Now all those toxins start seeping through into your bloodstream, yeah? And that's where majority of illness starts. Okay. So I'm talking about stuff from depression, anxiety, stress, IBS, bloating, the works, like even dementia can start from there, diabetes, thyroid, autoimmune disease, all sorts. So anyways, my inflammation was actually starting as a result of this because of my gut. And it was like, okay, so 90% of your issue is this, yeah, where majority of illness starts. And Rasulullah says this as well in Hadith, majority of illness starts from the gut. And 10% is probably mechanical, which I thought was completely opposite. I thought it was the exercise I was doing, the way I was sitting, the way I was moving, etc. in the gym, boxing. So anyways, said, look, we're going to start working on your guts with some probiotics first, but it's your lifestyle. Majority of this, of how you can treat your gut, is through your lifestyle, yeah? So it's your movement, it's your sleep, it's your nutrition, it's your stress, and it's also included in your relationships. So all these 5 things are interconnected, yeah? You mess up on one, all the others will be affected in some way or the other. And then it's a round circle. So for example, if you're having a bad relationship, yeah, you might not sleep at night. You don't have energy the next morning to do your physical activity, for example. Yeah. You don't do that, you're not going to eat right. And then you see how everything just interlinks with each other.
Yeah.
So anyways, this was happening with me. I was stressed at work. My family member was in hospital for a while at the time. My business burnt down, yeah, with 50 other businesses. I went through that, and I was going through all sorts in my life. And what happened was everything was playing a part in this whole saga that was going on in my back. And Zainali said something to me. He goes, okay, after all of this, he goes, and this was in the first session, he goes, what would you like to start with tomorrow? He goes, look, you smoke. He didn't say to stop smoking. He said, you smoke. I said, yeah. I go, you know what, that first cigarette in the morning, I'm going to leave that cigarette. And he goes, okay. Just said, okay. And I said, okay, what else? Because I'm one of those guys, I'm like, yeah, I want to get full on, like,
go all in.
you want to go all in, which a lot of us make a mistake of doing. Yeah. Start the gym and we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's fine. I was like, but is that it? It's like, do it for a week and see how you get on and come back to me and see me then. Automatically, when I stopped with that first cigarette in the morning, I started looking at different ways that I could actually increase my energy. Yeah. So start looking at the foods I'm eating. Went back to him a couple of weeks later and we're talking about food. And he's like, what kind of foods do you eat? I said, me, you know me, man, I love my meat. I love my chops, my steak, and and okay, he goes, okay, that's fine. He goes, we all love meat and stuff. Yeah. What other foods, instead of taking out foods from my diet, what he said is, what can you add to your diet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of taking out, what can you add? Goes, and he talks about which Sukaina really emphasizes on as well, which is really good. And she's coming on the show as well. I can't wait to hear that one.
Next couple of days, watch out for that one. I think episode number 6, Sukaina Abdul Hussein. Yeah.
So he's talking about colors and colors of a variety of different colors in your food. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can put in a bit. I like salad, but it's just I can't be bothered to have it sometimes. You know, it's there, but you just can't be bothered to have it.
Yeah.
We don't make salad like the Lebanese. Do you know what I mean? You know, the Lebanese make that nice salad.
Nice salads, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, added stuff, and slowly he coached me. He coached me in this long-term change, not by going straight in and making all of these diets and this expert approach. So you've got that coach approach, and you've got the expert approach. Like for example, you'll go to the doctors. Yeah, if you're overweight or something, and you'll be like, the doctor will be like, you need to lose weight. You need to go on this medication. You need to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go into a coach, they try to understand the root cause of the problem. Yeah. And then get the answers from the individual to come from themselves. Like I said, I'll stop that cigarette in the morning. Now, we all have tendencies to be that expert. We all do it. I still do it with my own parents. Like I'll go to my parents' house, like last night for iftar as well. I'm like, Papa, why are you eating this? He'd be like, we telling me what to do. Do you know what I mean? But like, do you understand? And I still do it. And all of us do it. It's in our nature to do this because we care. And sometimes because we think we know, and it's the ego thing as well. It's true. I'll tell you straight away for myself as well. So because I know that it's going to help, and then I'll say, even to my wife, I'll say, you know, you need to do this. It just goes in one ear and out the other. But when we actually try and find out the root cause of something, that can help. So when it comes now to exercise, what I mentioned with all of these things plays a big part in understanding why we can now go back to making the most of getting into the gym or doing some sort of exercise. Look at, is there stress in your life? Look at something. So Doureine, like, if you don't mind me asking, like, are you training this month yourself?
Yes, I am actually. And when I go to Madagascar with my sister-in-law, we're going to be swimming every, I think 3 or 4 times a week. That's the plan. So we've got a coach that's going to come and train us completely. So we're not, sometimes when we're left with our own selves, we don't do us any favors. So when you have a coach, when you have someone to hold you accountable, and that tells you, okay, this is what you need to do, especially when it comes to training, definitely. So my aim this Ramadan is how can I, so I normally do, I do have a PT. She's amazing, Zahra. She's also on Instagram as well. She's, sorry? Yes, she's brilliant. And my biggest thing with fitness was is that I was making too many excuses. And the problem with excuses is excuses are never good reasons. And I kept thinking, if I go to this gym, and how many times have I put membership money down the drain just because I'm going to start this thing, and suddenly it's motivation. It's not real. Motivation doesn't get you places if there's no why behind it, right? So I said to her, look, I need something. I need you to come home. If I come to you, I'm going to cancel on you. I'm just going to. So now she comes to my doorstep. I have no choice but to do it. And I do it at the time, I try different times. People are like, do it in the morning, but you know what? Everybody's not the same. I tried to do mornings for a few months. I was miserable. As in, when I say morning, I mean like 5, 6 in the morning. I was miserable because I realized I was just forcing myself to be someone I'm not. I can't do it anymore, but I can do it at 9 o'clock. So she comes at 9 o'clock after kids drop off. So it's really adjusting according to your body, according to your sort of timetable, and not going with what everybody tells you to do. Like, I know there's a big thing about morning routine, and that's good. That's there. That's for a certain, type of individuals. But what I'm trying to say to the audience is that just because you're not a morning person, it doesn't mean you can't still fit things in. And more importantly for me, especially this Ramadan, I thought to myself, and I'm very much focusing on this balance element that we are. In the Quran, there's so many mentions of the word balance, Allah has created everything in perfect balance, the universe, the planets and everything, even within us, our body as well. And, our mind, everything is to do with balance. And the amazing thing about working out, which I have noticed, is that it really puts me in balance. Everything within your body resets and gets balanced. It improves your chemistry, gets reset. It improves the processing level within your body. Your organs gets, your well-being gets reset, everything, and it has a direct knock-on effect on your confidence, on your self-worth, on your, on your aspirations, on your goal making. Fitness, the people who say, I don't have time for fitness, actually don't realize that by fitting time for fitness, it will increase your time, because you will want to sleep less. You will have more energy to dedicate to your families, to your work, to Allah, to the service of Allah. And at the end of the day, what is fitness? It's all a mindset at the end of the day, isn't it, Zohiab? It's a mindset, because if you don't have a why, if you don't have a reason why you're doing something, you're just never going to do it. You're just going to do it because it's on Instagram, or everybody tells you to do it, because everybody, you're doing everybody else's agenda and you don't really have an agenda for yourself. And when you realize that, you know what, if I look after my body, I live longer. If I live longer, I can give more. If I can give more, I can receive more as well from Allah. I can do more good deeds. I can bank more things, for the hereafter. There's many win-win situations that I can create opportunities for myself for. And it's kind of like you go beyond the fitness element, and you kind of look at the sort of, you visualize the next step, And for me, that's what fitness is. For me, that's what this Ramadan fitness is, And I can't wait. I can't wait to go to Madagascar, to, go to those coaching sessions of swimming after.
When you're talking Madagascar, I'm thinking samosas.
No. I'm honestly, I actually don't even eat in the morning. I just drink some water. Like, I drink loads of water. And that's it for me. That's it for me. And you're right, Zohiab. I have noticed that when I don't eat in the morning, I'm so much more efficient throughout the day. It's almost like my body doesn't want to ask for food anymore, because it knows that it's not going to get it. Subconsciously, I know I'm not going to get food. And when you give food to your body, the more you give, the more it's asking for it, right? I don't know if any of you have noticed that or not.
Before, and I'm saying myself, I'm a criminal of this. Before, I used to complain that, I'm so hungry, yeah. And then I don't remember who it was who said to me. They said, "Listen, imagine Mawla Hussein Islam, and this is a big example for us." And this was a few years back, yeah. Since that day, I'll joke about stuff. We'll rewind each other up, us boys, on the phone and stuff, and about different foods and whatever. It's banter with a few lads, but on a general note, like Mawla Hussein Islam, what he went through and what the Ahlul Bayt al-Islam at that time went through, I think there's a big lesson for us not to complain as well. We cry over him, we cry over what happened to Ali Muhammad over there, especially with water, with food, etc. 3 days, more for some of them, and when we complaining about food, are we actually being a bit hypocritical as well, crying on one side and then complaining on the other side? When we look at the example of Mawla Hussain al-Islam. So this was a big thing for me. Like, just next time we do feel hungry, which we all do, we're human, just have that in the mind. And I have to say that to myself as well still, when I lose my temper, because again, I'm human. I don't know if you guys do, but sometimes I do. I had a little tiff with my missus this morning. Do you know what I mean? It happens. But then just quickly just reset back and just realize, look, who we are, what gift of Alim Muhammad we've been given, and what the lesson we've been given from them, and then just,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I love that you brought that into the thing. Brother Neil, did you want to add something?
Yeah, it's that hangry, isn't it? You get hangry throughout the day sometimes. I think with this, with Ramadan and fasting, it's about being consistent. It's about trying to do different things. And, we're given a lot of tips, but you've got to do what's personal to you. Like Sister Doureine is visual, so maybe I'm a bit more audio or kinesthetic, and I might have to apply things in a different way. But it's about being consistent with it. So there's so many things that we can do during Shah Ramadan. Just going out for a gentle walk, taking in nature. It's a double barrel thing. So you're getting some movement and some exercise, but you're seeing the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's dhikr in that as well. So you're connecting yourself, you're grounding yourself. Maybe buying some resistance bands, doing some light workout or something like that. A bit of skipping maybe. It's just finding what works for you and doing, when you found it and the time that it works for you, being very consistent with it. So, is there like an optimum time that people should work out for? I mentioned you the 2 o'clock club. We go to the gym at 2 in the morning. You see all the brothers and sisters are there at that sort of time. But is there a peak time in your in your understanding?
No, I don't think so. To be honest, it's got to work for you. So again, I'll try it I'll try it before iftar. And if it doesn't work for me, I'm hitting 40 years old now this year. Yeah. And if it's not going to work for me like it did a few years back, then I can't do it. It's fine. I can do it afterwards.
Yeah.
But you have to find out what works for you. And also, don't look at just now. Look at the fatigue you might get in a few days as well. So if you're doing it at a consistent time, another thing is, Neil, you said you're working out at 2 in the morning, yeah? So how long do you work out for example, if I was to ask you?
20 minutes, half an hour, just a very light workout. Honestly, nothing major. But I try to be consistent, maybe 3 times a week if I can.
Okay. And then you'll eat after that, and then you've got a gap before Sahur, yeah?
I can pray my Salatul Layl, read Quran, etc. So I've got a bit of time.
Yeah, so this is a key thing, yeah, of not training straight after eating. It's not the best for you, yeah. But again, like just now in the morning, just to get prepped for this, because I woke up a bit groggy, etc. I just done 10 squats just on its own, just to get my energy levels up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simple, something quick burst of energy. Today the plan is either before iftar or in the evening or at night. Again, I'm going to see how I feel. If I don't feel up for it, just make up with it, like you said, for a walk or something along the lines. But there's no set time for anyone. Don't let anyone tell you there is.
Yeah.
And even don't overdo it as well, because remember, again, like we came back to, this month's for ibadat. That's the key. And you can't let that come in the way of training or anything come in the way of that. That's number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's going to mess things up, then push it to another side. Walking, I'd probably say, is probably the best thing this month.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd definitely say walking. And also, another thing is, so I'll give you an example of what's happened in my life. When I was praying, when I pray in my living room over here, my little one, she was watching me. I never told her to pray. Yeah, I never told her, come stand next to me, come stand next to Abu and pray with me, stand with me. No. One day, she just stood next to me, went into ruku the way I did, stood up, and then just went into sajda. Yeah. Now, the thing is, some people, especially teenagers, if you've got teenagers, etc., they don't like being told what to do. We know this, yeah? And kids, they don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
A good way is just do the action. Like, for example, you could say, Doreen, you could say to Zamir, yeah, we're going, let's go out for a walk. Don't even say it to the kids. Let the kids say, you know, I want to come, kind of thing. Let them see you doing it. If you tell them, they'll be like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go with you lot or whatever. Yeah. Teenager, I used to be like that when I was a teenager. Yeah. But when you start making action, then you start talking about the fun you had, etc. Now they sort of play on this and they'll be like, you know what, let me come as well. And they start building up those habits from themselves, which is important. Yeah. So I'm very careful on this SJ Fitness group. I won't tell people what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Telling people what to do can deter them. Yeah. So this is an important point of thought.
Very true. You know what you said now was just so important, and I love that you brought that element of action. You know, you lead by example within your environment, and that's why us human beings.
My friends won't say that though. My mates won't say that. Look, we're telling you right now.
Well, some people do need to talk to be told what to do, and some people it's you kind of do. But with teenagers, you're right. You know, you lead by example, and it's putting in the kids and in ourselves the love for who we are. Because we talked about this with in our first session, that we are divine creation and we need to appreciate and love the vehicle that we were given by God. You know, without this vehicle, we can't move forward. And what I love about fitness as well, I'm sure you both have experienced that as well, is that after the fitness, like before you get that bit like, oh God, I have to do this. But when you come out of it, everything's paining. It feels good. All right. The pain feels good almost, you know. You get a release of oxytocin, which means that you have happiness hormones, you know, physiological. When you're changing your body, we all know it changes our state of mind as well, you know. And I actually look forward to that feeling. And it's like, I want to feel that. I want to feel that happiness. I want to feel that sort of boost of energy. And I can actually feel my whole body living, like waking up, you know, awakening from this like lazy sleep or whatever it was in before. And it boosts my level of confidence. It gives my sense of competence, your sense of accomplishment, that I can do something. I actually can accomplish. And fitness and losing weight and being healthy and all of that is one of those that gives you almost immediate results. Within 2-3 weeks, you can already see a result in your way of being, in your state of mind, in your wellness, in your body, physically. It's one of the best ways. If you want to increase your confidence in life, start with your body, like start with your fitness. And when you see that you are able to transform yourself in your physical state, and you know, it goes straight, you know, anything is possible after that. You know, you are in control of your mind after that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, Zoe, you know, when you skipped a few days and you're feeling like, you know, I should have done something, maybe I should go for that walk, and you're pushing yourself, you know, what kind of things should we be telling ourselves in those moments? Because we need to get that balance within the month, don't we? Everything is ibadah. If your breath is ibadah and dhikr of Allah, you know, going for that walk is ibadah. If you're maybe pushing yourself, or even if you're just sitting and resting, what should we be telling ourselves in those moments where we're feeling a bit low and a bit deflated, to push ourselves to kind of get off that couch and go and do something, to be active?
Again, it's difficult. Don't get me wrong. It happens to all of us, and it happens to the best. Now the thing is, again, this all comes down to the other surroundings as well, like you mentioned before. Yep. Spirituality, there's relationships, there's the stress, your food, everything else. Yeah, but obviously to start with any one of those. Yeah. So for example, today I try to read a page of Quran, alhamdulillah, every single day, with or without Ramadan, but I'm trying now to do a bit more, okay? And I want to incorporate in my day-to-day routine, okay? Now I know that today, if for any reason I don't go for a workout later on today, I'm going to be reading this Quran or listening to some Quran. Put on your AirPods or headphones or whatever it is.
Yeah.
when you're listening to your Quran, go for a walk. So habit stack on this. Yeah. Just look at the next habit stack that you can do. Just look at something like you've got planned today. At this time, this is what's going to happen. This is a bit of a motivation. Otherwise, sometimes, should I be honest with you, what I do, it's a bit nuts. Yeah. I'll literally just smash myself. Let's just get up, go.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll literally be sitting on the sofa. I'll be slouched back and, like you're watching the TV or whatever it may be. And you're just feeling lazy as anything, yeah? And that thought comes into your mind, that thought, that, that little whisper, like, you know what? You feel like crap. You look, what are you doing? What are you doing sitting down? Everyone gets this in their mind. At that point, just energy is key, like a burst of energy is key. So just whack it up. Okay, just be careful, people, yeah?
That's for you. That's what you do.
That works for me. So if you're that kind of person where you need that big push or whatever, then do that. Otherwise, just if you can, go with a circle of friends. Like if you're coming from the mosque, think about if you're not living far from the mosque, walk back, or while you're at the mosque, go for a little walk. Talk about what you want to do as well. Yeah, with your peers, with your friends, and etc. Say stuff that you want to do, and let's start a little group off. We've got SJ Fitness there. I'm going to do something tomorrow. I haven't even put it in the group yet, but tomorrow there's something there. So anyone from Stam or whoever wants to join at SJ Fitness, tomorrow there's a session. But again, everyone's got their own way of motivation. Everyone's got their own way. Just find out what triggers you and try and pull stuff off with your family and children as well. That's another way that you can.
I love that. The environment that you're around, the people that you're around can encourage you. And by you speaking about it, you're putting it out into the world, right? You're saying it, and it materializes. So then people around you then hold you accountable for it. Hold yourself accountable.
Before I forget, so when I was on Mahmood's course, he was pushing me to do video content. I'll give you an example. This is something which is very hard out of my comfort zone back in the day. And when I finally agreed to do it, I said, I'm going to be posting a series of videos. I said this on my Instagram, yeah? Now, all these people start like. Yeah. now, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I've got to do it. Sometimes you need others to, and we're human, we're on a journey. We break promises that we've made before. We all do it at some point. We're human. But this is all, everyone's got their own individual journey. But as long as you're trying, you understand, the worst thing that we can do is, like, I don't know, justifying something which is not right.
Yeah.
When we justify to ourselves that, oh, you know what, it's okay, I didn't go, and you know what, it's fine, and this. Now listen, you know what, it's not fine, I didn't go. And again, this is for individual as well.
Yeah.
It's not fine, I didn't go. I know I should have gone. I know I shouldn't have eaten all of that stuff. I know I shouldn't have done that, or I know I shouldn't have smoked or whatever, but I'm going to work on tomorrow. Yeah. If we're just going to lock ourselves up, we're just going to get demotivated as well.
That's right.
Which I used to do a lot.
Yeah. I think we're all guilty of it, aren't we? We get in that depression mode, and, don't beat yourself up about it, accept it, but don't go in that slump for so long. If we put our heart on a heart rate monitor, you would see up and down, up and down, up and down. This is life. Sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down. But what happens when you see that heart rate monitor? You're not down for very long. You're back up again. And that's, if we're in that down state, let's just pick ourselves back up. Accept it, don't fight it, and then just keep moving.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's trying to find that balance in Shah Ramadan, that balance of getting everything in, but also making, like you said, those habits stacking. There is ibadah that you can do during a walk. There's ibadah you can do when you're brushing.
Planking, do tasbih while you're planking. Just I used to do that.
Yeah.
While you're planking, just do your tasbih. Like,
wow.
Yeah, there's so many different things you can do. It's just about just getting and just doing it. And the most difficult time, if you just think to yourself, that most difficult time, do it then I'll be able to do it any other time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
and I remember a scene from we talked about Ahlul Bayt earlier. Zohaib, you said that you in that hadith that I remember in the movie the message, when they were building that mosque, and the Prophet was also building, you know, he was taking bricks and he was helping out. And everybody was like, don't do that, we'll do it. But for me, that really showed the importance of being active. You know, that if the Prophet, for him, that's important to be active. You know, at that time, being active was battling, sword fighting, or whatever it was their type of fitness. And, you know, all our imams, especially Imam Ali, etc., they were very active people. They're very fit and lean people, so that they can be, again, I'm just going to bang on and on about this. For me, that's like the main thing for me, is to be of the service of Allah, you know, to be of service to the people, to the creation of Allah. And that's what they were doing. You know, you talked about role models and hanging out with people who are doing things like that at 2 a.m, right? Or having a group of people that you can do these things with, who share the same values, the same sort of mindset, or who will lift you up. And we've seen it within our religion, and that's the beautiful thing about our religion and about Islam, is that we have role models who have shown us how to be, how to live from a fitness perspective as well. They used to have training all the time for being so strong in the battlefield. You don't just become strong like that. You do have to be consistent. You do have to train all the time. You do have to have a sense of mastery. You have to master the art of your own body, the art of how things work. And it goes back as well to what we talked about earlier, which is knowing yourself. You know, we talked about in the first episode, knowing yourself, knowing who you are, but knowing what you are as well. It's all part of it, you know, knowing what works for you. Don't be blind to your body's alarms and cues and all of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Definitely. I agree with you. Everybody speaks a different language, and it's understanding your language, what works for you. I think sometimes we can see things with tunnel vision. So we need to see the bigger picture. You know, it could be that you're on your way to work on a daily basis. You might take that bus or you take that train. Maybe just stopping one stop before, getting off one stop before, and just walking that 5 minutes, that 10 minutes to get to work. That's you getting those steps in. It's just thinking more holistically about your approach during this month. And like you said, Zohiab, just not beating yourself up about it. Not really like, you know, feeling down or depressed about this particular thing that I haven't done, this action. Try to speak your own language. Keep it small, but keep it consistent. And don't be afraid to scale back on the intensity that you normally would do.
Yeah, 100%. And just and another part I just want to quickly, before I forget this part as well, yeah, is the water aspect. I would definitely say, yeah, and I know that's going to be a big part on Sukaina's thing, but I can't emphasize enough how much importance water has in this month.
Yeah.
When it comes to you getting up and going to do your exercise, from your recovery from the works. So just for the viewers, so what my normal routine in the mornings on a normal day would be 2 glasses of warm water. Then I have my kajur, I have 3 kajur, 7 badam, and then I go to the gym. This is my normal day. When I come back, then I have my eggs or whatever. Now in Ramadan, we're at the mosque. We'll open the fast that you got straight in meat curry and wicked stuff, good stuff. It's all good stuff, yeah? It's niyaz. But we'll open our fast with the kajur and water, and then straight away food. Sometimes what I've had to do, and they might get a bit vexed at Stanmore, but what I do is I'll have my kajur or I have my water first. I'll open my fast, then I'll go and pray. Then I'll join the namaz. So the azan goes off, I'll go and quickly have some water. There's gonna be a rush at that at the water tank there. But yeah, what happens then, it gives me that 15-20 minutes to just, you know, or just keep a kajur with you, yeah, if you can't, because it's difficult for them to, all the volunteers, to give out their kajurs, etc. in the namaz time. Take the kajur, at least that way you've got now 20 minutes of a gap of then going into your food. Yeah, so you've settled your stomach. So, you know, with some of these diets that you know, when people tell me they're doing these different types of diets, what they call, like
intermittent fasting.
Yeah, intermittent fasting, all of this.
Big one.
Should I tell you honestly, yeah, they've got so many different variations of this thing, and like you can drink coffee and all of this. there is nothing greater than the fast prescribed to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If anyone wants to fast for losing weight, for example, do our fast. From Fajr to Maghrib, sunrise to sunset, empty, simple. We recommend it on Mondays and Thursdays. And a lot of people come with this intermittent fast. You'll see the energy levels after 3-4 days is nuts. You know, the first 2-3 days, you're a bit, you know, whatever, on edge or whatever. But your body is so, alhamdulillah, adapts so well to anything. Our energy levels you'll start seeing as you guys, especially Doureine, you start exercising, and you're going to be going to Madagascar to have your swimming and stuff as well. You'll start seeing that after like a week, your energy levels are just going to start whacking up. And just ensure the water intake is there. That's the key thing, I would say.
For sure. And we are made out of 70-80% of water, right? So that's what we need the most in our body. Water, you know what, when I gave birth, I remember being anemic and, you know, having low blood pressure, and I thought that it was sugar and coffee that I needed. And actually all I needed was just a glass of water. Water is so powerful in itself. It's got everything you need. You know, it rises my blood. I never knew water rises blood sugar, but it's true. As soon as I started having water, it changed, you know, suddenly felt really energetic. But this time, because I did it intentionally, and that's where the difference is, you know, the difference that makes the difference is when you put the intention within it. It just, you see that it's happening, you know. So when I was like, okay, I'm intentionally drinking water now, Bismillah, you know, kurbatan, that's what niyat is at the end of the day. It's the intention. So when you put the intention, you actually see the return, like you see the payoff almost, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely agree with you. Water 100%.
Water, obviously, for the joints as well. And another thing is, some people get deterred from training because they've got this pain, etc. They'll be like, oh, you know what, my back's hurting. And so normally what tends to happen, and I can say this because I'm not a doctor, all right? What tends to happen is and my example, and I put on my Instagram a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, if you don't know, I was out in Dubai and then I came back. I was there for 8 days and I was munching like crazy. I came back 2 weeks later for all this stress for catching up from that trip. And then I went to Kuwait and then I went to Umrah, okay? And I was there for 2 weeks again. And I just got back a couple of weeks ago. So you can imagine the pile up of everything on me, yeah? Plus my diet was out the window. My routine was out the window. Anyways, I got to the gym. I knew because of my past with Zainli and how he's sort of coached me that when I don't look after myself, I'm very prone to injury, okay? What happened? I knew I was gonna get injured. I got injured, yeah? I got injured like bad. I mean, I couldn't walk, yeah? I could feel my back click, yeah? Now, I'd run the night before. My water intake was obviously, I sweated it out as much as I didn't drink enough water, and this happened. Now, if I went to the doctors, okay, if I went to the normal GP or whatever, they would have prescribed me with painkillers. They would have prescribed me with, God knows, rest. And they would have told me just to rest it out. Yeah. Painkillers and, you know, like diazepams and all sorts, codeine and all sorts, yeah. Which I'm not saying in all cases is bad, but whatever. But I learned something from Zainli as well. And this is to do with physical fitness movement, yeah? When you stay still, this is the worst thing that you can do. The doctors, I used to work in medical negligence, yeah? I used to work in claims. Doctors are not allowed to tell you to go and move, because what will happen if something happens, you can go and sue them. They say, yeah, the doctor told me to go out for a walk or whatever. Whereas inside, a lot of them actually believe that you should, yeah? But they can't tell you. A lot of them can't tell you. I started walking. So I imagine I'm literally walking like Hunchback of Notre Dame. Literally, I promised you, yeah? Within a minute of walking, I'm walking normally.
Wow.
Within a minute of walking. And then when I came back home, so I'm walking, we done about 3K. I was with my uncle who came over from Canada. Came home, sat down, stiff, again, my back stiffening up, but better than what it was previously. So for those who've got back pain and are scared that, oh, I'm like, you know what, I'm not going for a walk because my back's hurting and this, that, the other. Know that when you move, your muscles are opening up, your joints are opening up. It's literally, this is your pathway to recovery by movement. Don't overdo it, but walk. Walking is very important.
Yeah. That's great advice. That's really good advice. We're coming into the last few minutes, Zohiab. So just a couple of tips maybe for our viewers to kind of do some light exercise throughout the month. How should they approach it? Just a couple of tips from you as we end today's episode.
Okay. So I'm trying to maintain and I'm going to be running. So for those, I'll give it for a few people, all right? So for those who have got a tournament or something going on or training for a run, whatever, to do a full body within a week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing 5 sets, 2 exercises on each session, all right? So if I'm doing legs and shoulders, I'm going to do squats, 5 sets of squats. On each set, I'll do 10 reps. All right. As soon as I finish the 10 reps, I'm going to do 10 press ups. Okay. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to do my next set. I'm going to increase the weight by 2.5 kilos. Okay. Then after I finish those 5 sets, I'm going to do, say I'm doing chest that day. I'll do chest, 5 sets of press ups, 5 sets of bench, 10 reps, and 10 squats. So now I've just done legs and squats fully with this sort of with movement as well, and it's done in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's doing. Then I can do the same shoulders and arms, for example, and then back and whatever. For those who are not going to the gym, and for females, some of them is difficult. They don't go to the gym in the night. Some men don't go to the gym at the night. Stretch. If you're one of those people, then come. I would warm up first. I'll go for a walk if you can, 5-10 minutes. Or if you can't go out, just literally jog on the spot, move your hands around, do some star jumps, whatever, get warm, do a few stretches. If you can plank, which is even on your knees, and majority of people can plank at least on the knees, plank on your knees, get a tasbih in while you're doing it, and practice to get to that tasbih. So if you want to start with 10 Allahu Akbar, 10 Alhamdulillah, 10 Subhanallah, and then build your way up that by the end of the month, my goal is that I'm going to be able to do a plank for a minute or whatever with a full tasbih. That could be like a goal. Beautiful. Yeah. And for others, if you're going to the gym, just see what works for you, to be honest. If you're already going to the gym, you know what you can do. Don't overdo it in a way that it's going to leave you from doing ibadat the next day in the mosque or fajr in the morning.
Thank you so much. So, hey, where can people find you and reach out to you, inshallah, for your socials or website?
Yeah, so we've got a supplement brand called Acti.health, which we concentrate on probiotics, which concentrate from the gut and work on different health concerns. My own is Acti.zed, Acti.zed, and again, the website is Acti.health. And yeah,
we'll be putting all these details anyway under this YouTube video that you're watching. So you can, get in touch with him. He's really amazing. If you want to, any sort of fitness advice, trust me, if you want motivation and boost, he's the man. And what I would say is to all the audience that's watching us and that's going to be watching us from the first, you can rewatch our first one as well. And take notes, guys, because if you take notes, you're going to retain, your retention level increases straight away. So take notes, what are your takeaways from each session? What is it that you're going to just take one thing away? If there was one thing that you would take away from a session, what would that be? Write it down. So hopefully by the end of the 15 sessions, you would have a roadmap. That's the whole point, a roadmap with 15 takeaways. These are the things that I can do this Ramadan. I can start doing, with intention. I can start doing things with intention. That's very important. And yeah, that's it from me, Neil.
Excellent. Who we got on Monday is our next episode?
Yes,
right?
So great. Yeah, our next episode is on Monday. Is it 27th of March, and is one of my favorite topics, and it's about shaitan. We talked with brother Zohaib about the fact that sometimes we go down. You also said that we get depressed, and that's the waswas of shaitan. That's shaitan telling you to despair and to lose hope, because Iblis means to lose hope. It means to despair. So it's very interesting that all these waswas are coming from shaitan. But Nazmina Danji, Sister Nazmina Danji is going to talk about that because she has a course about the psychology of shaitan, which by the way I did, and it's amazing. So we're going to be talking about all of that on Monday. So I'm really, really excited.
Brilliant. So watch out for that one. Brother Zohiab, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you get alerted to all new content, inshallah. We'll see you again on Monday. Thank you so much for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Doureine. Thank you, Neil.
Okay, we're off air. Thank you so much, guys.